These two movies have both released within a week of each other. One of them is a sequel to Ready or Not, the other has a concept and tone that is frequently compared to Ready or Not. Really, it was a stupid idea to release it so close to the sequel. But I saw both, so let's talk about them. Let's start with what's probably the smaller one. They Will Kill You, from director Kirill Sokolov, who also wrote it along with Alex Litvak, who worked on Predators and the 2011 Three Musketeers. I guess I should probably give similar background on Sokolov. I haven't heard of anything he did before, but IMDB says he's best known for Why Don't You Just Die, Sisyphus is Happy, and No Looking Back. Whatever these movies are, this one is about an ex-con who takes a job in an apartment building full of elite rich people only to find out that this building is a temple to Satan and its residents have chosen her to be a human sacrifice. But they're gonna have to catch her first, and she's stronger than they expected.
Where did you learn how to fight like that? Prison.
Honestly, I think I was more excited for this than Ready or Not 2. I personally thought the trailer was better, and everybody knows sequels aren't as good, but I was a little worried by that first scene and how dark and serious it was. Is it going to go all the way from that tone to the outrageous mayhem that the movie's being sold on? Well, as things kicked into gear, it did find its footing with a fun tone that somehow manages to strike a balance that makes the beginning and the very gradual build-up to absurdity for the first 5 minutes or so almost fit in. Picture this. Somebody tells somebody to write a girl gets hunted by elites movie to rip off Ready or Not. The writer instead writes that concept in the style of the Evil Dead trilogy, possibly with emphasis on Army of Darkness, and then it was given to a director who instead decided that he wanted to make Kill Bill. That's basically what this movie feels like, setting itself distinctly apart from that one influence that it tried to compete with. It starts out as a generic horror thriller in a section that's not bad, it just sets up a different kind of movie, until the girl gets the upper hand and then Tarantino sets in. The Kill Bill comparisons are almost as inevitable as the Ready or Not comparisons. It becomes a lot more stylized and violent, with some Kurosawa blood effects to seal the deal, as well as an unfortunate close-up. That's a little more gross than you're probably even expecting now. And then the Evil Dead style fantasy elements come in and they actually make the gore even more entertaining. Honestly, because of them, the cartoony aftermaths of the kills are even more fun than the kills themselves. In my review of Luc Besson's Dracula, I said that if the movie took itself a little less seriously, I would probably be defending the CGI gargoyles. Well, this movie doesn't take itself seriously, and without spoiling anything, there is a CGI thing at the end that I'm pretty sure I like more than everybody else will. And there's also the lead, Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2 and Joker, who nails this role. She's fully convincing as an action hero, including as a version of Uma Thurman in a certain movie. While Samara Weaving played in every woman put into unimaginable danger, Beetz is something less universal but deadlier, and that works perfectly for this movie. These action scenes are also very exciting, full of good fight choreography and, oh, did I mention there's gore? I should probably bring that up 50 more times. This movie takes a while to show its true tone, but when it does, it's a really fun time. It's more over the top than, you know, and its sequel, and since that's not exactly low standards, I'm just happy we're getting more than one movie in these styles in such a short time. A really fun genre mashup that wears its influences on its sleeve while still having a voice of its own.
Come out wherever you are.
Speaking of all my endless references to Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Directed by Radio Silence, or Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, directors of the original and later Abigail and the 5th and 6th Scream movies. They turned down Scream 7 to make this. They might have dodged a bullet there. They wrote it along with Guy Busick, writer for all those movies I mentioned for the directors, and also Final Destination Bloodlines, and R. Christopher Murray, writer for the first Ready or Not and the Castle Rock show. This one starts literally right after the end of the first one. She ain't out of the woods just yet. Now she has to deal with an elite group of even more powerful people who made the same deal with the devil as her now former in-laws. Okay, is it really a spoiler for me to imply that at least some of the bad guys die in that movie? Turns out there's another rule to the game. The rule is that since she survived, that triggered a new game. Now obscenely wealthy families from around the world will hunt her down, and whoever wins gets the highest position where they literally control the world. And if she escapes alive, she gets that position. And her estranged sister also gets roped into the game as collateral damage. And the relationship between Samara Weaving and this sister, played by Catherine Newton, gives more depth to both characters than we got of Samara in the first one. And they have good chemistry with each other. Okay, a big part of the fun of the first one was not knowing until the end whether or not the curse was real. And now that mystery is gone, and that sucks. But they almost make up for that by going bigger. The carnage is more over the top than most of the original, as expected now that, no spoilers from the first one. The set pieces are more elaborate, and that does indeed add to the fun. Also, this time they managed to get a big cast to play these elites. We got Sarah Michelle Gellar, we got Elijah Wood, we got Sean Hatoshi from The Pit, we got David Cronenberg. No, he's not an actor. His appearance is a little more than just a cameo, but it's still a very small role. But who cares? They got horror royalty involved. And these new elites are even worse than the family in the first one. Yeah, those people were stuffy rich guys and all that, but really they were also just a bunch of people who got in over their heads and are just trying to survive. But these guys are just awful, and not just from the fact that they're doing this whole thing willingly. These people who want to be the satanic elite who control the world are vapid, clueless, arrogant, greedy, entitled, condescending to non-rich people, just plain bad. They hold the game in a resort which they cleared by simply telling everybody staying there to just leave right now and not even trying to be graceful about it. You can call them cartoony, but it works. They're everything communists hate about the 1%. Then this movie starts eating the rich in hilariously gory fashion. And this sequel does maintain the level of dark comedy and violence that made the original so enjoyable. And while the story follows some of the same beats as the original, it still has enough surprises to feel completely different. Some of the high points involve seeing just how these rich people fall, and not even just the kills, but the context of how they happen. In fact, one of my favorites doesn't even involve anybody dying. This is definitely a worthy sequel, but is it better than They Will Kill You? That's a difficult one. They are pretty close. I guess this one's more consistent, although the kills and action are more fun than They Will Kill You. But I guess Ready or Not is a little more unpredictable. You get a few of those sick surprises near the end of They Will Kill You, but not really as much. Also, this one does the satirical aspects better. It was a hard choice, but I guess I'm gonna say this is the better one. And yeah, also the more fun one. What a shocker, the team behind Ready or Not made the better Ready or Not successor. But once again, it's very close. Please support They Will Kill You. It's a Warner Brothers movie, so do it before the sale is complete, and seeing it would mean you'd have to also support Paramount. Anyway, I need to wrap up this review. This sequel goes bigger without losing most of what made it all work the first time. A great sequel burdened with the misfortune of having to ruin They Will Kill You's chances of breaking out. Please support my Patreon, link in the description.